I saw on social you're starting to make your presence known here locally, but how are people getting a hold of you typically? Through social?
Through social. Back at home, there was a lot of interest, actually, believe it or not, when we said we're moving to Cabo.
Right.
And because people were like, you're moving to Mexico? Like, that's crazy. You're crazy. It's freaky over there. Like, it's scary. But I've been all over Mexico. And so this is one of the places that I have never once felt fear or anything. So a lot of them were like, how'd you do it? What did you do? And so there's a lot of questions to that. So our idea is to actually put something together where we can actually do presentations back home, because there's so many people interested. And
there's a lot of myths out there and misunderstandings about what it takes to own and to live here.
Exactly.
And you've done it, both of them.
Yeah.
Right? You've owned 2 properties. Yeah. You now live here, and you've gone through a lot of the legal processes of home ownership, getting licensed, working in a foreign country.
Welcome to the Nick Fong Podcast. As the broker and owner of Ronival Real Estate, Nick has spent nearly 20 years in Baja California, sir. And in this podcast, he'll be talking everything Baja, from food and culture to real estate and property management. And now, here's your host, Nick Fong.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. Today's guests are Olivia and JJ Husky. Welcome, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We're excited.
Happy to be here.
So I wanted you two both on here because you recently joined the Ronival team, and you're not becoming so much of the exception, but more the rule nowadays of our agents joining our team, which are professionals moving from the United States to permanently relocate here. And so why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourselves? Where are you coming from originally?
Northern California, outside of Sacramento. It's a little farm town, Yuba City. I don't think a lot of people know Yuba City, which is actually, that's not true. It's a small world. But anyways, that's where we're from. Born and raised there myself. He came from somewhere different, but I was born and raised in that area.
Okay.
So that's where my family's from.
And so you're originally from where, JJ?
I'm originally from Mariposa. It's close to Yosemite National Park, so it's still Northern California.
Okay. And so you guys living in Northern California, professionally, what were you doing back in Northern Cal?
So real estate for 8 years. Mom was in real estate prior to me starting, and she's the one that kept going to real estate. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to go into real estate. Anyways, I ended up in real estate, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So that's what I've done for 8 years, and it's been an amazing career.
Great. And JJ, for you?
Wholesale mortgage broker. So I was doing the home loans. She talked me into doing it, and I love it. Working with people, helping them get into houses. And we have an Air Force base by our place, and I'm a prior service, so helping a lot of military people come and move into the neighborhood.
So there's a Air Force base there?
Yeah, Beale Air Force Base. It's where they do a lot of reconnaissance. So it's the U-2 spy planes. It used to be SR-71 Blackbirds out of there. And actually all the drones that go all over the world, they all leave from there.
So when you were in the military, you were stationed out of there also?
No, I was actually stationed in Texas, Mississippi, Germany, and then back to Texas. So I was ground radio maintenance. So I did just maintenance. I fixed everything at the airport, like the radios and air traffic control stuff.
And I think you could fix light bulbs too, maybe.
Yeah, sometimes. That's a problem I have. If I see something, I need to fix it.
He has to fix it. I said,
everyone,
he's going to be fixing that.
Before the podcast, I was walking by the front door, and JJ's on the ladder changing the light bulb. And so I was like, what's going on? I thought you broke something. Okay, so you guys are in Northern California in the real estate business, mortgages and real estate sales. When was your first time to Cabo?
2 years ago, COVID. Was just a thing. They had pretty much shut everything down in March, and we were here the first part of that. January. And
January 2020?
2021.
Okay, so after COVID started, you came
right in the middle of it.
Why come here?
Right in the middle. We had been talking about Cabo for quite some time. We have a lot of friends that go to Cabo or come to Cabo. But it just wasn't on our radar. We went everywhere else and so Jay kept going, something, we need to take a trip to Cabo. Yeah. It's a short trip. Let's just do it. And my mom, she's a traveler. Her and dad are world travelers. They love it. So they had this great deal. to go to Cabo.
Okay.
And that's how we made it to Cabo for the first time.
Where did you guys stay?
We actually stayed in San Jose, and like probably 5 minutes from downtown.
All right.
But everything was locked down. There wasn't, everything was like a ghost town, still. So, and then her mom contracted COVID while we were here. So she was laid out at the hotel. So it was a kind of a sparse trip, but we did meet one of Olivia's friends that was also a realtor that had been living here for 4 months. So we went down by the office on the beach and we talked to her and her boyfriend all day. And that's when it really planted the seed with me of like, you can live here?
Yeah. Right. And so that's January 2021.
Yes.
You go back after a week vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Kids were with you?
Yes, they were.
Okay, so tell everyone you have 2 kids.
We have 2 kids. Well, we have actually 3 kids, but 2 kids with us. So we have a 7-year-old, almost 8 next month. Actually, this month, the 19th. And then we have an 11-year-old.
Yep.
So they're both in school. And here. Yes.
Okay, so you go back after your first trip in early 2021 and tell everyone what then?
That's when I started trying to talk Olivia into like, we need to move to Cabo.
So you had the idea.
Big time.
Okay.
I just felt pulled down here.
Yeah.
I don't know why. My mom and dad met in the Baja. Maybe that has something to do with it. Kind of full circle.
Yeah.
Now, were you guys married when you were traveling with the service, or no? Okay.
No. Yeah, I got out in '97 and we met in 2009.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you're working on Olivia to convince her. Was it several months? When was your next trip here?
So really, that trip kind of started we had rentals back home, and with COVID, the rentals went downhill because we had tenants that were not paying our rent. And so we just started having issues with that. And so Jay said, Cabo seems to be booming. Yeah. Why don't we buy something? And our friend also has a lot of Airbnbs and stuff. That's kind of how that all started. And so we said, let's sell here. Or he said, let's sell here and let's buy in Cabo. And that's where that started. And we're like, okay, well, let's buy our first condo and go from there. Yeah. And
when was that? In 2021?
That was in 2021. We were here in January. We bought the first condo in March. Like literally, it was literally like 2 months later. It was sight unseen. Yeah. And we were committed. The frustration of the story. Yes. So we were done, and we were committed to, because both being in real estate. We do what a lot of real estate professionals do. It's like, hey, our ROI, like our residual income is going to get us through the retirement years, right? Because, we're not going to have Social Security and evaporated.
Okay, so you buy your first property. So you own more than one property.
We bought another one.
2.
Okay, at the same time?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, so
we had to sell 2 properties first.
All right, so
2 for 2.
You buy the first one in March, and then you buy your second property.
The second one we actually closed in January of 2022.
Okay, so you've bought now 2 properties. Yes. You've gone through the closing process.
Right.
Yes.
You've done a number of transactions, either mortgages or on the real estate sales side, back in Northern California. When did you decide when you were going to move to Cabo?
It's partially your fault, Nick.
Was it my fault?
We've been watching your podcast for like 2 years.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So it's worked.
So it has worked. You brought us here. It has worked because even the kids would laugh. We're watching Ronival again. It's like we were constantly, just because we wanted to get more info, and you had the best one out there that gave us all the information about all the different developments and what to look for and just different areas here. And so we were just intrigued by it all. And
so you close on your second property earlier this year. When did you finally make the move here?
Middle of August. Yeah, the middle of August. We finally came down. The beginning of August, Olivia's dad and I, we drove down and we left the truck and then flew back. And then on the 17th of August, we flew back down and we've been here ever since.
Yeah.
What was that like for you guys, moving from a well-established, you were from there, right? And so all your friends, family, and especially with kids, business. Yeah. So how did you fare?
It was more difficult for me, of course, because for me, I was going to live there forever. Although there were times where we were done with California and we're like, well, let's go try out Texas. Maybe let's see Tennessee. And, so we were looking, never to think we'd come here, really. It just wasn't something that I was thinking about. So when it came down to we came here with the kids. We toured the school. We looked at different locations and things like that. Was our deciding factor. We're like, you know what? This is going to make it or break it right here.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the day we're like, let's do this. Let's move. And it took us from the point that we decided to leaving there and selling our property, selling everything that we had over there, 5 months.
Not in a lot of time.
It wasn't a lot of time. So it wasn't a lot of time for me to take in. I don't think, I mean, I was sad. I had all these emotions. I was all over the place. So it was hard. It was a hard decision, but. And
it was a lot of work. So
it was a lot of work.
That was like a blur, you know.
Yeah.
In retrospect, we look back and it's like, that just, I mean, it was like, say 5 months, but it felt like more like 45 days jam-packed.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for being a part of the Nick Fong Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast to get the latest updates. And if you're watching this on our social channels, please like and share. And if you want to be featured or you want me to talk on a certain topic, food, activities, culture, real estate in the Baja, drop a comment. Any of your friends, you mentioned a girlfriend that was here for 4 months. Mm-hmm. She had done it, but any other friends or family that had done that anywhere else, maybe? Mm-mm. So you guys are trailblazers.
Well,
in your family.
Well,
in the family, yes.
My dad retired Air Force like in 1966, like long before I was born. And he kind of had that itch, like every 4 years he had to move. And so I actually lived on Guam as a kid for 5 years once.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember living there?
Oh yeah, I was 9, from 9 to 13.
Wow.
And so you know, a lot of people are, well, it's because you were in the military, you know, your dad was in the service. I'm like, no, my dad he couldn't get it out of his blood. Like every 4 years he wanted to, you know, we say PCS, permanent change of station, you know, so my dad couldn't get that out of his system.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. And so talk to us about the professional side. Like you still have to work, you want to work, and how did you find that whole process?
Of leaving?
Yeah, like home. Leaving established, doing business for a number of years.
Yeah.
Your built-in clients, and then basically starting over.
Gone. That was very difficult. That was very difficult because I was doing very well back home. I had a very good referral-based business. I was very involved with the community. So I had a great business back home. And so when it came to telling people, and I waited a long time to say, I'm leaving. Like it was a week prior. I'm like, I'm leaving because I hate goodbyes anyways. I'm like, I just don't want to.
There were people complaining that she was here. You didn't even say goodbye.
I know, it was horrible. But it was difficult because I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going over there and we're gonna have a business. I mean, we're going to have to start from scratch. And I knew I wanted to get back into real estate. And so did he. He was like, I'll just do real estate with you. Mm-hmm. So we knew we wanted to do that. Yeah. We know how hard it is to get going, to start and to break into something totally different. So what did you learn in the 8 years of selling real estate, Northern California, that you're going to be applying here and maybe already have started? Video. Okay. Video. So getting involved in video, getting your name, your face out there. Yes. Getting involved with the community as much as we can. Mm-hmm. Just doing a lot more of the YouTube videos. We had started it back home. I had my own show called The Running Realtor back home because I was a runner. And we just went through town and did videos. You know, there's a running club in Cabo. I see it on social media. And okay, well, I need some info on that. I see him, and it seems like it's people that are on vacation here more so than anything. Interesting. And so they're doing running things. Maybe that could be into a little sphere of influence of people. For sure. You know? So you're still running? I like to run. Okay. Yeah. You too? I like to watch her run. Like any good spouse. Maybe I'll start filming her run. There you go. And so you guys just got started in your real estate career. Mm-hmm. Tell everyone, how is that process? Like getting onboarded and getting the license, the work permit. Like I'd say the government side of it can be frustrating because I think we're so used to everything moving very quickly back in the States. You know, it's on you, right? As fast as you can get it done. Mm-hmm. We're here. It's like you have to get the appointment and then you go and then, you have the wrong documentation. Well, this is what I was told to bring. Well, sorry, that's the wrong stuff. And then come back in a couple of weeks again when we get you scheduled and that over and over again. But I mean, after all the frustrations of getting it all completed, it really only took us like 2 months. And a lot of people are like, wow, you got it done so quick. Yeah. So we're like, okay, I guess that's good. But as far as like joining your team and onboarding it was great. I mean, from start to finish, sitting down a meeting with Sergio and just all the folks, the support, and it's been fantastic. So you guys are ready to go. Absolutely. We're up and running. We're going. We're doing this. Yeah. And so
you already have a book of clients or people you're talking to. How are people getting hold of it? I saw on social you're starting to make your presence known here locally, but how are people getting a hold of you typically? Through social? Through
social. Back at home, there was a lot of interest, actually, believe it or not, when we said we're moving to Cabo.
Right.
And because people were like, you're moving to Mexico? Like, that's crazy. You're crazy. It's freaky over there. Like, it's scary. But I've been all over Mexico. And so this is one of the places that I have never once felt fear or anything. So a lot of them were like, how'd you do it? What did you do? And so there's a lot of questions to that. So our idea is eventually to actually put something together where we can actually do presentations back home, because there's so many people interested. And
there's a lot of myths out there and misunderstandings about what it takes to own and to live here.
Exactly.
And you've done it, both of them.
Yeah.
Right? You've owned 2 properties. Yeah. You now live here, and you've gone through a lot of the legal processes of home ownership, getting licensed, working in a foreign country.
Yeah, so you can find us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel called Buying Cabo.
Okay,
and that's one place you can find. And we really just want to educate like our sphere of folks on there, and let them get rid of these myths.
Yeah. So who's going to be doing what in the business? Or are you guys going to be doing a little bit of everything?
We kind of talked about this just the other day.
Yeah. Our strategy is like we're going to play off of our strengths and weaknesses. And it's like, so I'm very detail oriented. Yeah. So I'm going to do probably more of the back office. I mean, we'll both be agents and doing that side of it. But I think Olivia will do the meat and potatoes of the actual real estate part.
Showing the properties, being the pretty face.
I love people. I just need to be talking to people.
If you want to know like how many layers the cistern is and when it was built, come to me.
Yeah. Got it. And so back home, this is you didn't do this, so this is going to be brand new for both of you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Luckily, I'm a good student.
But no problems. I mean, obviously, me and Rocio, we own the business, and it's challenging not to bring the work home.
Oh,
is that already?
Yes.
We've been like that for years, Nick. Because I had my own office. You know, her as an agent, she was on the fly so much that she didn't really have like a brick and mortar office. She was always out and about. And I did have a brick and mortar business. And then when COVID shut it down, I just honestly, everybody got so used to like this format and Zoom and everything that I never went back. I just canceled the lease and never looked back. And so I'd wake up in the morning, go get my coffee, just literally walk into our office and go to work. So we've been working together for a couple years, but now we're really together.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay, I have one last question for you both.
Yes.
All right, a little bit off topic. What's your favorite Mexican food?
Ooh, well, I've had Mexican food forever. My mom.
But like a certain dish or a certain type?
So for me, it's chile rellenos, but they have to be homemade. Like I'm used to my mom's chile rellenos, so I haven't had something here that compares to my mom. I don't know where to go.
Wait, is your mom?
She's from Guadalajara.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Me, I like tamales. So right now, December, this is like my time of year. So
what specifically filled with anything?
Honestly, I'm not very picky, but carne, some sort of meats, especially like beef. I like the beef ones the most.
Love tamales too.
Oh my gosh.
And did you know when you call back total gringo move? Yeah. When I was growing up, I would call them, I want a tamale. But no, if you say it in a singular, it's tamal.
Oh.
So that's a little tip for everyone. If you're talking about, I want a tamale, that's how I would say it. Yeah. That's wrong. Ooh. It's tamales if it's in plural.
The good thing is I never eat just one.
Oh, there you go. You only eat 2 or more, so it's always tamales. So maybe for you.
Maybe
tamal.
Tamal.
Okay, so one last one. When you get tacos, corn or flour tortillas?
Corn for me.
Classic gringo. Flour.
Flour first.
All the way.
Fantastic. Well, guys, thank you for joining us on the podcast. And everyone, this is Olivia. This is JJ. And they're new agents to Ronival, but not new agents. They can serve you on your buying and selling needs. And until the next one, bye for now.
Bye. Yeah.
Good job. Tamales.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Nick Fong Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Ronival Real Estate. And follow Nick on Instagram at @NickFong_Ronival. Ready to find your Baja dream home? Check out the latest property listings at Ronival.com or findmexicohouses.com. Hasta luego.